Have you figured out how to lose weight, but you cannot stand the annoying, pesky little hunger that comes along with the process? Have you wondered if it's possible to get results without having to experience that hunger all the time? If you are wondering if there's anyone who has cracked the code on how to get results without being hungry all the time, and if that person will be willing to share what they learned with you, then you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Exactly what you need to focus on to be able to lose weight without being so hungry all the time. Hello, my name is Concita Thomas and I'm a food and fitness strategist. I help women 40 and over lose 30 plus pounds and keep it off without diets or excessive exercise. That's a result I've been able to get for myself and for several clients, and now I'm sharing that knowledge and those lessons learned here on this channel with you. I know that one of the things that happens when we decide to lose weight is that we become increasingly aware that we need a caloric deficit in order to make that happen. And once we're aware of that, we often go about trying to slash calories wherever we can because we really want the results to come, right? So if you've ever found yourself perusing through the grocery store looking for lower calorie alternatives of your favorite, and especially if you've ever sat down to a restaurant meal with friends, opened the menu and immediately searched for the low calorie or the dieters options, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've had that experience, I probably don't have to tell you that you can eat low calorie foods all day long and still not be full, and find yourself playing peekaboo with the pantry at night and really having to lean into just sheer willpower to not go off the rails and eat all the things. And if we're honest, that happens more often than you like. The way that you escape that vicious cycle that is equal parts frustrating and just painful to experience is to focus on high satiety over low calorie. There's no way around it. You do have to create a caloric deficit and sustain it for some period of time if you hope to get a weight loss result. However, when you focus on high satiety over low calories, you're able to create that deficit in a way that keeps you full so that you're not having to battle hunger to stay in the caloric deficit. And so you may be thinking, Concita, that sounds good. High satiety over low calorie. I'm with it. Sign me up. But how do I do that? If you are having that thought right now, I'm going to give you 3 things to focus on in order to be able to create high satiety, to still end up with lower calories, but to do so without hunger. And that first tip, you've probably guessed it if you've watched a number of my videos by now, and that is to make sure you are getting enough protein. Oh my goodness. I cannot overstate how important eating enough protein is when it comes to being able to create a deficit that's going to give you a result without walking around just hungry all the time. If you haven't yet watched my video here, you need to, because I talk about 3 reasons why you're still not getting enough protein. Sometimes we know, okay, yeah, I can see that. I know that. Check. Okay, I'm going to fast forward and listen to the next tip because I know about the protein and I'm eating protein. But sometimes we know about the protein and we're even intentionally including it, but still not getting enough. If you think that might be happening with you, be sure to check out that video over there to figure out why that's happening and how to fix that. But let's assume that you've watched that video already, you have already fixed those mistakes, then make sure you stay on top of that and make sure that you are getting enough protein. Protein helps you to get full at a meal while eating less, and it helps you to stay fuller longer after the meal just because of the way that that particular macronutrient is broken down in the body. I'm not going to geek out on the science too much there, but trust me when I say you want to be getting your protein. All right, the second thing that you want to do when you're attempting to focus on high satiety over low calorie is you want to eat your veggies. That's right. I know your grandma told you, and maybe you just kind of rolled your eyes and just thought it was like, oh, grandma, I don't really need to eat my veggies, but grandma's right. You need to eat your veggies. And so you specifically want to focus on green vegetables, high fiber vegetables, things like broccoli and cabbage. It's like what the old folks used to call roughage. Like if you've ever been told you needed some roughage, then that's what they're talking about. Those are the things that you want to focus on. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't eat any other type of vegetables. Absolutely have your carrots, have all the other vegetables, but you want to focus on getting enough green fibrous veggies in your day. And if you're someone that particularly struggles with hunger and you find that you're just hungry all the time whenever you create a caloric deficit, and especially if you're someone also that struggles with cravings, then you may want to be sure that you're including them with every meal. You don't have to do that to lose weight. As a matter of fact, my clients and I have this little trick we do where we get all of the veggies we need for a day in one meal. However, if you're someone that really struggles with being able to create a caloric deficit without getting really hungry, then you want to do the opposite, and you want to go ahead and include those green fibrous veggies with every single meal. Now, I've got more where that came from, but I'm curious, have you figured out how to be fuller with your meals even while you're in a caloric deficit? Have you figured out how to get results without being hungry all the time? If so, please share in the comments below. Share it with me and with the community, because I'm sure we can all find it helpful and we can help each other here. All right, let's get on to the third thing that you want to do as you focus on high satiety over low calorie, and that is, drumroll please, drink your water. I know this video started to sound like, I could probably retitle it, Things Your Grandmama Told You, right? But your grandmama's right. You want to be sure that you're getting enough water each day. I cannot overstate the importance of hydration and having a hydrated body when it comes to being able to lose weight without being hungry all the time. First of all, fun fact, oftentimes when we feel hunger, especially between meals, a lot of times we're actually thirsty, and thirst and hunger can feel a lot alike. So if you have ever eaten and thought, that's strange, I'm still hungry, and then you eat a little bit more and you're still hungry, and you eat a little bit more and you're still hungry, chances are what you were experiencing was false hunger. You probably needed to get a glass of water and drink that instead. And fun fact, the water doesn't have any calories. So if you were looking to create a caloric deficit, get those weight loss results without being hungry all the time, you want to make sure that you are drinking your water, that you are getting enough water. And if you listen to these tips and you're like, Concita, this sounds really good, but okay, protein, veggies, water, can I eat anything else? What about my rice? What about my potatoes, my butter? Does that fit in anywhere? It does. And I actually have a framework. It's called a figure-friendly meal, and I have a figure-friendly meal checklist, and that is available for you free right now. It's complimentary. I have linked that in the description below as well. You can go ahead and just enter your name and email address at that link, and you'll get my full figure-friendly meal checklist that shows you how you put this all together and how you begin to build your meals this way. So I highly encourage you to go ahead and snatch that up. There is no cost at the moment for that, so you can snatch that up in order to help you figure out how to put this all together into a meal. With that said, we have come to the end of this video. I really hope you've gotten value. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, and then also tap that bell so that you can turn on notifications so that you're notified every single time I drop another video. And then finally, if this was helpful, but you're like, girl, I have a lot going on in life, and while this was helpful and I would love to implement it, I know that getting support and getting accountability and getting questions answered so that I can customize this to my life is going to be the difference between just being really inspired by this video versus putting it into action. Then I invite you to check out my signature program. It's called Get It Off, Keep It Off one-on-one coaching. And it is not only the knowledge, things you learn in these YouTube videos that I produce for you, but it is also the customization, the support, and the accountability to really make it come to life for you and help you go from knowing what to do to doing what it takes. So I encourage you to go ahead and visit the link below for Get It Off, Keep It Off one-on-one coaching so that you can learn more about the program. And if we're in an enrollment season, you can go ahead and apply right away. If not, do not skip the waiting list. Go ahead and add your name to the waiting list, because what happens with that waiting list is, should a spot become available in the program before enrollment opens again, you'll be the first to know. I'll let you know and offer that spot to you. And when enrollment season does open, the waiting list gets early notification, so you'll be able to apply long before the public even knows that enrollment season is upon us again. So that's all I have for today, friend. Until next time, stay fierce.